Hi friends, welcome to Ielts Nepal. We keep making videos for students, especially preparing for Ielts. And in today's video, we have got something very interesting for all our students. Hello friends, how are you doing? Imagine you are trying to climb up a ladder and you discover that the first 3 or 4 rungs of your ladder are broken. Will it be very easy for you to climb up? No, not at all. Everyone knows that. So for people like us who are non-native learners, climbing up the ladder of English proficiency can be just as difficult or even impossible if we have some problems right at the bottom of our journey. So I'm going to talk about some permanent looking problems that are there with English learners in our country today. All right. So friends, for today's video, I have picked up 5 sentences. These sentences have either lexical or grammatical problems in them, which non-native learners like us keep making. And I want you to be with me as I go on discussing them. The first one on your screen is this. There is many topics for discussion. We generally have a permanent kind of habit of using is right after there, which is not correct all the time in English. What's correct here? There are many topics for discussion. Why? The word there is a dummy subject here. Okay, it's not the real subject. The main subject is many problems, and that is a plural now. So it will take a plural verb like are or have. Let's have a look at some more examples. There are people who do not like complete freedom. People is plural, so you have to use a verb accordingly. There is a debate. So debate is singular, so is a debate. There have been many pandemics in the world so far. Have been, plural verb for pandemics, and has been for discussion. Please remember that. Second sentence on your screen is this. Hard work is an important criteria for success. This is so very common with so many learners in our country. Even very well educated people often make a mistake like that. What's wrong with that sentence? Let me tell you. Hard work is an important criterion for success. It can be criteria for a singular noun like hard work, because criteria is the plural form of criterion. There are many nouns which do not take s to become plural, including criteria. And criteria is plural, like the words here on your screen. Men, women, feet, teeth, mice, children, sheep, deer, and fish. Deer can become deers at times if you're talking about varieties of deers, and if you want to talk about varieties of fish or different species of fish, you can also use fishes, the word fishes. All right, let's go to the third one. I've been living in Kathmandu since 5 years. Looks good at first glance, but there's a problem there in that sentence. What's that? I've been living in Kathmandu for 5 years, not since 5 years. You have to be a little bit careful about using for or since when you are talking about a present perfect continuous tense. When you have the time duration mentioned in the sentence, like years, months, weeks, or days, without mentioning when the action began, then you need to use for. And if you mention the exact beginning of the action, then you need to use since, like since 2010, in January, since last month, or since morning. Let's have a look at some more examples. I've been living in Kathmandu since 2015 because we know the action began in 2015. I've known him for many years. Now we don't know when the action began. We just know it has been many years. So for many years. Look at the third sentence. Scientists have been working on a medicine since they learned about the new virus. When did the action begin? Began when they learned about the new virus. So when we know when it began, we use since. Hope that makes things clear for you. Okay, friends, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube so that you remain updated with the videos without having to search. You can also write to us through ieltsmasternepal@gmail.com about your questions and comments. We also have our Facebook page. You can join us with that. And there are two other means for you to use in order to be in touch with us, our WhatsApp and Viber numbers. Okay, let's continue with our class. The fourth sentence for today is this. Pollution level was less 10 years before. This is also yet another very common problem with many English learners, particularly in our country. Probably because before and ago mean the same word in our language. But there is a difference between before and ago when you are using them in English. Pollution level was less 10 years ago, not before. So when do we use before and ago? We use before in very different situations. You can talk about when you are talking about two actions of the past, present, or even future, you can use before. Let me give you some examples. For the past, you can say, I met my friend before I graduated. For present, I go for a walk before I take a bath. All right? For the future, you can say, I will get a job before I get married. All right? And the word ago is used when you are talking about one action with an amount of time in the past. Only in the past. Look at this example. World War II took place before UNA was formed. You are talking about two actions. So you have to use before there while joining those two actions. But then World War II took place more than 80 years ago. You are just talking about the amount of time without talking about two actions together. So that's ago. Let's have a look at some examples of the use of before, because as I said, before can be used in many other situations. Look at the use there and the meaning of that use. I get up, it should be up, okay, up before 6 a.m. That means I get up earlier than 6 a.m. There were problems before him. In this sentence, before stands for in front of you. You can also start a sentence with before, like the third one here. Before you go, please listen to me. That means listen first and then go. You cannot do something like that with the word ago. Ago can be used only to mean one past action or activity. I hope that that's clear to you now. So the final sentence I have for discussion today is this one. According to me, cycling is better than using a car. That might look perfectly okay for most of us. Could you find out any problem with that sentence? Let me tell you what the problem is. You don't say according to me. You say in my opinion. In my opinion, cycling is better than using a car. So when do we use according to me and when do we use in my opinion? These are the situations. If you're talking about your own opinion, you need to start with "in my opinion" or "I think." But if you're talking about somebody else's opinion or referring to someone or something, you start with a sentence with "according to." Let's say, according to the Prime Minister, or according to the book. All right. So this is what I have for today's discussion. Dear friends, unlearning and getting rid of small yet permanent problems can be more difficult than learning new things. So they are better if they are nipped in the bud. So even if you need to work a little harder for that, please do, so that your level of English improves and gets better. I'm RP Sharma. I will see you in my next video very soon. Thank you very much for joining.